Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. And a very good morning.
Good morning to you, Sarah.
Woo. Okay. So wait, can we have our faces bigger? Oh my gosh. Awesome. Thank you, Will. What's up, everybody? This is fun.
Yes. Where are you coming from, Sarah? You're not in your normal background here.
I'm bringing some East Coast energy right
Hold on.
now.
Lou's saying scary. My face scary. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get some Botox
Lou,
or something.
Lou, gotta be nice. Good morning. No, I like this because, so by the way, everybody, let us know where you're joining us from. Obviously, I'm not in my normal place. I'm actually at my mom's house. I'm in her office, and yeah, we're doing some little cleaning out. She's making some plans to sell her house. So I'm here. I've got, you won't really see it necessarily because I got it blocked off now, but I've got family roaming around in the background. There might be drilling. I don't know, but hey.
Listen, okay. I love listeners. Backstage, she was just telling us, Sarah, about how she's using her influencer power to make the best garage sale of all time.
Okay. So we did a garage sale yesterday, and we're trying to drive traffic.
Hard during a work day. Like you need a big weekend day for this garage sale.
But we're like all of us are heading out on Thursday, so we were like, okay, well, let's do one for a little bit yesterday, and then we're doing another one today. And then at least she's kind of has everything set up. So then hopefully she'll do like another one on Sunday, and I think she'll do really well with that. But we're just kind of like, just dropping it out there. But I made a whole video. I added a voiceover, some music.
Are there any top items that are the hot sellers, you think?
Oh, I mean, what do we have going on over there? We actually have like a really cool nightstand that's like a really nice, not nightstand, like drawers and a backboard. I don't know. It's not even here, but it's really nice.
I have to tighten up this pitch, okay?
No, my gosh, you're already bored. There were some really cool antique. There's an antique toaster, which is probably just cooler to look at than use. An air mattress. We got lots of toys. By the way, this sweatshirt is hers, courtesy of the 80s. So,
I think it looks great. I was gonna say vintage look.
I know we like this look, huh? Mm-hmm. It's so I'm just, as I'm going through, I'm just taking things and.
So it's like all your stuff from when you were a kid, like a lot of 80s toys.
There were a lot. Yes, I've gone through a lot of 80s toys. So I'm deciding what I'm keeping, what I'm giving away. I had a do you remember Punky Brewster?
Of course, I remember Punky Brewster.
I had a Punky Brewster figurine. I had like a bazillion Barbies that I went through. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Those are worth some money. Check eBay. People are buying crazy things on eBay.
Oh, it's so true. I think there might have even been a few Beanie Babies, but it's been fun to go through. And then so many books. There's like thousands of books in this house. So
I love it. It's like treasure hunting when you go through all that stuff.
It kind of is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that makes it fun. So I don't know. I'm into it, but it really reminds you like how much stuff you end up collecting over the years and over time.
Yeah. So the last garage sale I did for my parents. I got a percentage of what I sold.
Whoa.
And I made it a big hospitality thing. I had a little lemonade stand out front. We had music. We had my brother DJing. So we made it a lot of fun that day.
I know. Part of me is almost, so I'm going to be in New York, but part of me is like, do I just like come back here and then help out? So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just winging life.
Nostalgia is real this episode.
Yes.
And we've got some nostalgia topics to talk about later on today.
We do. Yeah. We do.
So I think a good transition from our coffee talk. Let me have one more sip before.
Your coffee talk. We do. This is
I'm drinking an energy drink, everyone. Sorry. She's got me addicted fully on Celsius. Right now.
Oh my gosh.
I had my Biscayne coffee earlier. Then I got my Celsius. So we're good to go.
Crazy. So, yeah. So do you want to go ahead and like dive into some of these topics?
Let's do it. Some interesting things today.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So this was kind of fascinating. I had to read it a couple of times because I was like, wait, what, really? And then we were talking about it a little bit just backstage before going live here. Why luxury hotels are not making the best brand lists. So this was fascinating on Skift. Luxury hotels are often falling short of actually making it on this best brand rankings, despite offering premium services. Now, what they were kind of saying is like some factors like inconsistent service delivery, high guest expectations. Sure, we know that there's definitely been a little bit of a disconnect, especially in recent years. Fewer loyalty program incentives um, kind of contribute to their lower ratings. And they were saying that mid-scale brands tend to perform better because of consistency, perceived value, loyalty, engagement. But we were doing a deeper dive on this, and I know that you were asking this question.
Yes,
Um,
so there's
yeah,
because I was like, all right, I was
like
reading this headline. Let me
what's the
understand
hook?
that. How does Four Seasons not get on here and Ritz Carlton and some of these big name brands? And the reason is because they're not disclosing all of their financials, which this list maker uses to create
Hmm.
these lists. So there's a
Hmm.
little funny things here, but it got me thinking, like, of the best brands, like what you think about when you think of a hotel, right? And so
Yeah.
I want to ask you, like, when you think of hotels, what is it
Hmm.
that comes into your mind? Because it's so hard. Like when you buy, like on this list was Apple and Nike. Like when you pick up
Yeah.
an Apple item, like you know that's an Apple item. But when you walk into certain hotels, you if they didn't have the name on it, you may not know that it is a Four Seasons. You may not know that it is,
Yeah.
a Mandarin Oriental. So, well, how do you think about hotels? Like, I've thought about that a lot now because there's so many brands out there now. It's hard to think of
There
what
are.
stands out.
So it's like there's one for like so I look at it in two different ways that as far as what excites me or is what maybe is driving me. One would be consistency. So you know what you're going to get. And I'll use a classic example, Four Seasons, you pretty much know what you're going to get wherever in the world. And that's fine. Um but the other thing that also drives me is personality. So what I really look for and sometimes when I really think about it, like personality, it's they're having a little bit more fun with their brand and the experience. And
Mhm.
generally, those bigger luxury brands in they favor consistency over fun, I think. And I can name so many, and I love them. You know, we're Waldorf Astoria, Ritz Carlton, Peninsula,
St.
um,
Regis.
St. Regis, Belmont, Mandarin Oriental, fantastic property. I would be 100% comfortable sending any of my clients to any of these places because I know what they're going to get. They're going to deliver. But sometimes it just lacks a little bit of that special spark unless they've really gone in and done something local. What do
I
you
agree
think?
with you. I agree with you on that. You're so many hotels are focused on getting their 5 stars or their
Yeah.
diamonds or whatever award it might be that they stick to those standards and they train everyone on those standards. It's so hard to get thousands of people in a hotel, especially big hotels, to follow these standards. So you
Mhm.
work on them every day, but then it takes away some of that character and personality of, oh, let me go and take care of that family of four. I see they're playing a board game. Let me bring them something to make them have some more fun. Or I
Yeah.
saw they're playing board games. Let me put some more in their room, right? So they can have
Yeah.
more fun during the trip. So it's those little touches. And I'm trying to think of the hotels that, like, if I was thinking like a brand
Hmm.
that are having fun, like I think the Graduate Hotels was a cool one. I think that they did it
Totally.
really well. Like, that
Totally.
that's a Graduate Hotel. And for listeners, if you haven't seen it, I forget which was it, Hilton or Marriott that picked them up.
Hilton.
Hilton, right? And so now they
Yeah.
are in these college towns and they really
Mhm.
lean into the college town and everything is very nostalgic, like Paul was saying about that
Yeah.
college town. And so you feel connected to that city, but you know that you're in a Graduate Hotel. And I
Yeah.
think some outdoor experience are doing that now too. Like you think of Auto Camp and Under Canvas, like they have
Oh,
it dialed
totally.
in, like you know that you're staying at one of those places. So it's interesting to see because I spend a lot of time in luxury hotels, and you're right. Sometimes they can feel cold if you don't know someone there, right? And they
Yeah.
can be very nice, but it's like, how
Yeah.
do they take it to that next level? So if
Oh,
you're
totally.
listening to this and
Right.
watching, what hotels do you think, like if you were to close your eyes and think of a brand, what pops to your head? Like, oh, I know that brand. It's very recognizable no matter where I go.
I mean, there's so many recognizable ones. Peninsula, by the way. I mean, from the outfits to
Yeah.
everything.
But
I
I
mean,
think
they
you're
do
right. Like they're not the warmest, right? Like I love my Mandarin Oriental team. I worked there for
love
forever.
them.
And I have my event May 6th. If you're going to be in Miami, come on May 6th to Mandarin Oriental.
Woohoo!
But you're right. Sometimes like you walk in, you smell, it's very zen. They have the
Yeah.
incense going, you got the music going, but it's not overly exciting, right? I think that's kind of maybe the word.
But then think about it. So what do you associate luxury with? Luxury is like calm,
Yep.
elegant, elevated. So they are playing to that. Just
You got that. I think it's also they are. I want to be recognized when I come in, right? I
yeah.
want to be known as an individual. Like when I come in, like when I did that last hotel shop,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say the hotel, but they were waiting for me. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Mr. Turk, we were waiting for you. It's so good to see you. Like we've got your room ready, and here's your preferred arrival drink from last time."
That's great. Well, and also when I was at the Fairmont Grand Del Mar just a couple of weeks ago, when I pulled up, as I was after I got out of my car and I was walking in, they're like, "Oh, Miss Standishi, we've been expecting you," and I'm like,
So cool.
or was it that obviously the valet got my name, and then at some point they went around and they told the
Right on the radio, I
doorman.
got Miss Dandishi here. They probably had your picture up in the back, most likely.
Totally,
Mhm.
totally. Oh, okay, wait. So we have live concierge work happening, by the way.
I love it. So I'll fill you in while you focus. So listeners,
Okay,
backstage, we know that Sarah has a concierge business that only works with billionaires. And now they're contacting her because one of the flights got rerouted and they cannot get on the flight. So she's working on it right now. And I've never seen her work. And we're all going to watch her handle this live on the show for that client so that she can continue to be a host on this podcast. But as she's doing that, listeners,
okay.
I keep thinking about these as we go to hotels, what really makes them stand out. And if you're in your hotel today and you're working today, think about how you could wow somebody. Because like we're just talking about that. How can you personalize something? So walk through your lobby, go find a guest or a couple or a family and do your best to wow that one person. Maybe it's giving the cabana that's empty today on a business weekday for free. Maybe it's giving somebody a complimentary drink. Maybe it's buying somebody their breakfast today that doesn't cost you a bunch. So make sure to wow somebody today in your hotel.
Yes, definitely. And it doesn't take much. By the way, to just quickly go back, before we even got started, I love that Steve was like, "We don't even know if Sarah works." Are you kidding me?
I've never seen it. I only seen her give a speech once in front of me.
You don't even know if I work. Well, that's to be fair. You don't know what concierge Sarah is like. Concierge Sarah is very friendly.
I don't know. It seems scary sometimes. Maybe. Like
Oh, no. Oh, it's very like, oh, we do this. We're direct because like we don't have time to waste, but we're nice. I'd like to think that everybody's worked with me, enjoys working. You know what?
If you work with Sarah, leave it in the comments here and let us know how you rate her.
If you have worked with me, what am I like to work with? Oh my gosh, let me go ahead and text George.
1 through 10, and you can't use
my
a 7.
videographer.
Okay.
That's a different one. Oh my gosh, too funny. All right, why don't we continue on here and talk about our next topic? Okay, so the motel, we love this. The motel is turning 100 years old. Well, I love, but do you know, by the way, where the very first motel is? I mean, before you read this article.
I did not know. It was very surprising. Why don't you tell the listeners, where is the first motel over 100 years? It's 100 years old now. Where is it
opened in 1925. It's the Milestone Motel Hotel. I've had to do it. Sorry. In San Luis Obispo. So for those that don't know, San Luis Obispo, SLO County, that is kind of the central coast area of California. And I mean, it's also, it's so cool to think about just because, I mean, that was so long ago.
Yeah, 100 years ago, if you really think about it, when cars started coming about, cars really didn't take over. And so the motor lodge, the motor hotel, and that's where these all started coming from, was people started to drive more and more, and their cars couldn't make it these long distances. So these locations started popping up on major highways. And so the first motel in San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo. Right. Yeah. But anyhow, what I like about this is that you're seeing a lot of motels being purchased now across the country on these remote areas and being turned into unique locations for people to go have a nostalgic stay. You see, Paul, we're bringing it back to you. Have a nostalgic stay and reconnecting with that road trip, that great American road trip that has made America so famous, going through these old highways, going through these deserts and forests and places that people are trying to escape to now. Now these motels are having a big resurgence. So it's great to see that this one is 100 years old. But it's kind of crazy, right? You go to other countries and you have like hotels that are 1,000 years old. Our country is still so young that we're celebrating a 100-year-old motel, but it's a big part of our history.
It is a big part of our history, especially, understanding what the motel did for just road trips and made things far more economical. And then what's great with these renovations and sort of bringing it back, I, I mean, again, we've just seen road trips will forever be popular in the United States just due to the sheer distance that people have to cover. There's so much that you can explore here, and especially families that are looking for something that have character and personality, but can still be an economical way to stay.
Mhm.
You might be just staying overnight. They're fantastic options, and staying, being a popular option for people.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's fun because I remember as a kid, I would a couple of times we would stay in a motel. It wasn't all the time, but it was always fun. Like you had, oh, what are we gonna get from the snack machine? What is our room gonna look like? Is it gonna be scary? Is it not gonna be
Yeah.
scary? And so it's just interesting to see how things have evolved in the motel world. So
Yeah.
more and more,
It's
I'm excited about it for people.
totally. We've got a couple of friends out there. I've got a couple of friends that own hotels that have a few motels that they've revitalized, and I've been to a few over the past couple of years. So I can attest that they're great.
Yeah, just here in
They're,
Miami, there was a whole section of town that was really run down about
mm.
12, 14 years ago. And then they started to buy up all these seedy motels and renovate them. And now it's the Mimo district. And you see all this cool 1950s
Oh, that's
motels.
neat.
And the coolest one's called the Vagabond. So if you come down to Miami, check out the Vagabond. Word on the street is that Frank Sinatra used to hang out there every once in
Ooh.
a while. So pretty fun.
Ooh. Well, we've got some interesting motels in Los Angeles. Don't know if I would opt to stay in many of those yet. But speaking of hotels in LA, that kind of goes to our next topic
Look
here.
at that. Look at that
This
professional transition.
professional transition. Exactly. This is a hotel that I would 100% stay in. So LA is due to get a Pan Am themed hotel in 2026. I love this. Oh wait, I had looked it up as far as like where it was going to be. It's going to be near LAX, which obviously makes sense. And so there was actually the Pan Am experience. That was something that people could go to in Los Angeles, where there's a company and they own a bunch of older planes that they've kind of cut up, and they film a lot of things in these planes and different models, all of that. And so they had one that would be the Pan Am experience, and you would go, they would do, dinner service. They'd do like a little fashion show of all the Pan Am uniforms. So fun. And that was prior to the pandemic. I don't know if they've really totally brought it back since, but for sure, this hotel is going to do so well. They're probably taking a whole page out of the book of what's the hotel in
At
New
JFK,
York.
the JFK.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think
So
it looks great. I love it. I liked how, especially this brand. This brand was like synonymous with luxury and
totally.
travel and adventure and excitement. And I like seeing that the brand is coming back, and hopefully they do it a good way in that hotel because you can make it corny. The other one you're thinking was TWA, right?
Oh yeah,
And
there you go. That's what it was.
and I'm
Oh,
hoping that they can make it feel high end. It can feel corny if you don't do it the right way. And so I would hate to see it go that way. Yes.
I did just look because I did read this, and then I forgot where it was nearby. They say it's set to open near LAX, and I will have to say it is not actually near LAX. It's near it's still like a 30-minute drive. I guess that's like normal, but it's near the Citadel outlets. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like south of downtown. So what I will say is that there's not a whole lot going on in that area other than these shops. So that's going to be fascinating as far as what that brings to that particular area. So when we say it's near LAX, it's not like it's going to be like right off of Century Boulevard. For those that know the area very well, it's going to be a little bit of a ways away, but not too difficult to get to the airport. They can just hop on the.
I'm excited to see
ferry
it
that
because a
is.
lot of people collect a lot of Pan Am things. I see those for sale a
Oh,
lot on eBay. But here in
yeah.
Miami, the City Hall of Miami is in the former Pan Am
Well, that's
offices,
neat.
right? And so Pan Am is big down here in Miami. Like they used to have this big giant steel globe that's hand painted that was at the
Yeah.
museum, and they moved that. Now it's in the city, right in the middle of the city at World Center. So there's all these little Pan Am pieces of history throughout Miami. So it's very cool to see. I'm excited for this
It's
one.
super. I'm very excited for this. So, well, let's keep talking about airlines.
Let's do it.
So U.S. airlines are seeing strong 2024 passenger growth. So they reported a strong passenger growth throughout 2024 compared to the previous year. Now, domestic leisure travel has continued to surge, which we all kind of know, with international bookings were steadily climbing. What's that interesting, and I mean that they're still kind of holding on, is that airline executives are still saying that they're optimistic about record-breaking volumes for summer of 2025, which is just considering the whole economic climate. It just depends on where you are, what you're kind of hearing. In some places, it's like, no, everybody's really like holding on to their purse strings, and then you've got others they're like, go big or go home. Such summer, YOLO.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is the YOLO life. It's like, I still think, even though it's crazy to say it's 5 years ago when the pandemic came, I still think crazy. A lot of us in our age are like, you know what? I'm going to go continue to live life. Things will be okay. Yeah. We've gone through terrible things before. Things will be okay. We survived that. A lot of us did not, which is still sad to say, but let's live our life, right? And go travel. I'm traveling more this year than I ever have, which is crazy. Like, my life, like I don't fly as much as you do at 110 flights last year.
I don't know that I will be making that number this year, but that's okay. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yes, that's a lot. But you're going on some cool trips coming up. You got some fun things going on. You're traveling a lot. And just like Lou said, travel is life. Travel is life.
I actually have some really cool trips coming up just in the next 2 months. So we can maybe share it at the end if you want. Yeah. I don't know.
People are going to stalk you wherever you go. So
no, they're not going to stalk. I'm going to be going to New Zealand, U.S. Virgin Islands, New Zealand, Turks and Caicos, and like, I don't know, Dallas. Come stalk me in Dallas.
Dallas.
We'll go line dancing together. Oh my God. All right, let's go on to our next topic here. I feel like is your thing.
I can talk about this one. All right, I'll take over this one. All right. So Walt Disney World is set to offer free dining plans for kids in 2026. So starting in 2026, Disney will offer free dining for kids ages 3 to 9 with select vacation packages. And this move is designed to add value for families amid the rising theme park costs. So here is the free. No. You have to buy a food package that goes with it. They haven't released the prices yet. But it is nice to know you can buy this package and walk into the parks and not have to worry about buying a $30 burger and all these other things for the kids. So I'm curious to see what the price actually becomes.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like the drink package on a cruise, right? I think it's like you have to be drinking at least like 10 drinks a day for that drink package to equal out. And some people are about that life. And others are like, no, I'll buy my drinks as I go. So I'm curious to see how this goes. But it's a good headline that it's going to be free for kids in 2026.
It's a great headline. This is just, it makes sense for right now.
Yes.
People want to prepay. They want value. So they want to prepay. And it just makes sense. So go leave it to Disney to just be kind of on the cutting edge of this. I'm curious to see if other big brands end up doing something like this.
I think that they will. I think what you just said, right? It reminds me like of the resorts now, all the all-inclusives.
Yeah.
You want to know what your vacation will cost. And so here's what it's going to cost me. I know I'm going to throw in some other knickknacks and shopping while I'm there with my family, but at least I know I don't have to worry about the food part. And the worst part sometimes is like you order these food for kids and then I don't want this. I want something else. Like, well, you ordered this. So now you have the flexibility to order different things and try different things. So it really is going to be all about how much it costs and how they kind of wrap it into their ticket price.
Yeah, no, it's going to be smart. But and again, it's like, we'll just see how it continues to like influence because once Disney makes a step into something, other people are. Yeah,
I'm sure they're starting to see it from their cruise ships too. Like they can see everything going on. Like, all right, on our cruise ships, this is what's going on. Let's take some best practice from the cruise ships, bring it over to the parks, because they mix a lot of things from the parks and on the cruise ships, because I've done both. But they have a lot of competition now with Universal that's opening their park, I think, yesterday. Today's the 22nd.
Oh,
Epic Universe opens.
Oh, wow.
So I've been seeing a lot of videos of the new theme park, which looks awesome. I know you're not a theme park person, but this one looks pretty amazing.
Whoa.
Oh, listen.
Your girl is all about theme parks.
All right, so
here.
Universal Studios, Epic Universe. Looks pretty awesome. Any people working at the Lowe's over there? Because the Lowe's is the hotel. We're going to need to see what you all are thinking about what's going on. I forgot, you're not a Disney adult, but you like
no, but if there's like a roller coaster or anything like that, oh no, I'm all about that.
Oh, yeah,
I just don't
multiple
need
roller
necessarily
coasters.
the Disney thing. But if I do Disney, it's like we're gonna do the most thrilling things. I want to be upside down, flipped all around, all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
they have a couple of roller coasters that are supposed to be like the best in the country, and they've got something called Dark Universe, which is all of the old monsters like Frankenstein and Dracula and the werewolf.
Woo!
And all these that they put into a land that you can go see for the first time. So very cool.
Oh wow, look at you, Mr.
I've been watching the
expert.
theme parks, getting ready. I'm getting ready.
Oh my gosh. All right. You ready to get to our real-time recap?
Yes, I am.
All right. Do you want to go first?
I think so. So
Yeah.
I was having a tough day last week on the Thursday. I was like, you know what? I just want to go treat myself to a nice dinner.
Okay.
And my wife and kids were out, and I was like, I'm going to go to this restaurant, the Henry. And I went to the Henry in Brickell. And I sat down, had a glass of wine and a meal. And who comes rolling up is my old friend, Jose, who I used to work with way in the past. And I didn't know that he was there. And he sat down next to me. He's like, hey, man, what's going on? So just started chatting with me. And you know what? He bought me dinner and said, this is on me. He didn't know I was having a bad day, but it was just nice to feel like, all right, someone's looking out for you. Always good to be in a city, good things going on. So it was just nice. A nice moment where he was leaving for the day, saw me in the restaurant, came over, hung out for 30 minutes. So Jose, shout out to you, man. And the Henry, great restaurant. I went back 2 days later with the family because I enjoyed it so much and had a wonderful Sunday dinner there.
I love that. That's like when you have moments like that, that's where you really feel like you're like, I belong in this city. Like that your city makes you feel like home.
Yeah, it was just nice because he had no idea that I was having a rough day. I didn't share it with anybody. I'm sharing with all you now. It was just one of those days where it's like, I just need some self-care. I want to have a glass of wine and a good dinner.
I need a minute.
Yeah. And so it was very nice. And then we went back on Sunday and had a great dinner and made up for everything that he did for us. So it was great.
I love that. Which actually reminds me of what I had happen last week, which was pretty special. I got a call, which not special, but it also just made me feel like I'm so glad I live like where I live. Like it's like you feel at home. So I get a call last Wednesday from somebody who I've worked with for many, many years. And he actually now works over at Maverick Helicopters. And there was a big concierge event that happened yesterday. And, we were just kind of like talking about things. And it's like, hey, because I'm on the East Coast now, so I couldn't go to this big concierge event, but it's like, hey, what can we do to kind of like help excite people, et cetera? And it's like, you know what? There's some extra legs on a flight tomorrow by the Hollywood sign. Can you make it happen? And I'm just like, let's go do it. And it was such a fantastic experience. I've probably only done the whole helicopter tour of Los Angeles maybe one other time, many years ago, but to just within 24 hours get myself on this flight, get to kind of fall in love with LA again, because you're seeing it from above. You get to see all your places. You're like, oh, I know that. It's like, oh, that's where my that's where I used to work, or that's my apartment, or whatever it might be. And it was such a wonderful moment to just kind of, I pinched myself and I was like, only when you're like truly at home in the city where you live is when stuff like that can happen. That you just magically have a one. And true, maybe, you know what? I was kind of having like a weird week as well. And so this was just kind of a nice way to turn everything around. So shout out to Maverick Helicopters. Shout out to Tony there. So yeah, it was just an awesome experience.
See, what a good week we had. See, making things happen, even when it's a little shaky during the week.
Totally.
All right, hospitality quote. I'll read this one here. So
Yeah,
do what you do so well that they will want to see it again and bring their friends. From our friend Walt Disney. Just like we were just talking about right now.
Say it louder for the people in the back. You don't have to say the whole thing, but yes, true.
Do it so well that people want to bring their friends. It's what it is. Like if you can do that and they got their friends talking, that's the best marketing that you can have.
Absolutely. And it just brings it down to the experience of what it is. It just, that's such a great quote. I think everybody should be reminded about that.
Yeah, so go to the Henry in Brickell if you're here in Miami. Go check out Maverick Helicopter for tours when you're in LA. These people.
By the way, they're not just in LA; they're also in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Maui. So wherever you might be.
Well, Lou, thank you for watching today and for Christelle and Christopher and Paul and all of you that are always here
Everybody
live with us.
that
We
chimed in.
appreciate you very much. But man, this went quick. 30 minutes. I feel like we got more to talk about, Sarah. But you've got to
I
get
know.
someone onto a plane.
Oh yeah, I
Make sure.
gotta do work. Whatever. Wow.
Get that garage
Sarah,
sale
even
ready.
worse.
Get that garage sale ready. Okay.
That too. That too. Oh my gosh.
Well,
Too
until next week, everyone, stay hospitable, and we'll see you soon.